Hey, welcome back to Glass Ceiling TV. I'm your host, Jordan. It's been a couple of days since I made a video. I just haven't really, I just kind of not really lost motivation, but I just really haven't known what to talk about. I don't know. I want to make good content, not just for myself, but for you all. Um, and it's hard. It's like you hit a wall and then you don't know what to do at that point. So I'm just kind of going on here and just talking. Today, I wanted to talk about the change I want to see in America. With all this going on in the world, like we're in a pandemic, and then we're also dealing with police brutality, which we've always been dealing with that. That's that's something that's I won't say it's never gonna change, but it's gonna take a while for us to actually see change, to see the change that we want to see in that way. And that's not reliable because no telling how long that's going to take for it to get to that point where we don't have to worry about we don't have to look over our backs and don't have to worry about the cops looking at us or thinking of us as being less than or being criminals or this that and the third. Like, I'm not really trying to wait around to see when that point comes. I'm trying to make that now. And the way things are going, I don't know. See, this is why I didn't want to. This is why I haven't really been making videos because I've been trying to write out my points, and I couldn't find anything to talk about that I thought I could talk about for, I mean, not like a long time, but I felt like I had enough information on, or just the motivation to talk about it. But the change I want to see a community full of people that look like me, doing things we normally do, supporting our community, keeping our money in our community. And I'm not saying it has to be isolated just to us, but I want the top people to be black. I don't have to sit and thank a company or a person who's not black, a company that's not black for building a black community. We shouldn't have to do that. We have the brains, we have the wealth, we have the people. It's just we don't have the idea. Well, the ones who we've put in charge don't have the idea. They don't know how to get to the idea. They want to they want to be inclusive to everybody. Sometimes you can't be inclusive to everybody. You have to set yourself apart. There's Chinatown, Little Tokyo, Italy. This that like there's plenty of them around the world. There's Jewish communities, small Jewish communities, big Jewish communities. I mean, you hang around the people with who you relate with. And we don't have that. Like the only things we have of that are the hoods and the ghettos. We barely have any neighborhoods that are black, that are functioning black, that are of wealth, that are people who are doctors and lawyers, engineers. I'm not saying that they're not out there. We don't have not saying that we don't have a lot of black doctors or black lawyers or black engineers. But they go on to live in areas where they feel more protected, where they feel they get more status, which obviously, but when is that going to change for us? When are they going to look at black people as not being less than? We, in our own people, we are viewed as less than. In our own people. When you think of black people, you think of them being late. You think of them being ratchet and loud and ghetto. You think about them in so many different ways. Well, there's certain types of black people. But when you think white people, you think of civilized. Think of always on time, always prepared, and knows exactly what they want. That's how you think of them. That's how you view them. Because that's how society has made you view them. There's plenty of black people out here who show up on time, who are always prepared, who don't scream and do all this loud stuff everywhere they go, who look who look. I'm not saying who don't look who. I'm not gonna say normal, but look decent. Like they got a nice shaven head, and if they have dreads, they have dreads. Whatever they view as professional to them, they're professional. And then they still get viewed. They still get viewed a certain way. They still get demoralized, and they say, "Oh, okay." Like we have to, being a black man, and I'll even speak on being a black woman. But being a black man, you have to try 2 times harder on doing things. So whatever you do, just imagine a white man doing less than you and still getting the job. So if you're a 4.0 student and a white guy is a 3.5 student, 3.5 GPA student, depending on the school you went to, even if you all went to the same school, unless you just have significant things over them, more than likely it's going to go to them. Unless they're having, and the reason that we have to have affirmative action to get ourselves into workplaces. We shouldn't have that. We shouldn't have to do that. We shouldn't have to make a law or make a bill or make a whatever for jobs to hire us. If they don't see us for a value, you bring it back to your community. You start your own business. You start your own legacy. Start your own thing, and you can hire whoever you want to. You want to hire all white people, you hire all white people. You want to hire all Latinos, hire all Latinos. You want to hire all black people, let it be. But we don't do that. We go our whole lives trying to fit in to white society. But are we really successful? And if we are successful, how much more successful could we have been? I mean, it's a question we have to ask ourselves. We have to ask. Now, I'm not saying you have money. People are different with money. So whatever you feel like you'll have everything you ever wanted and not have to worry about anything ever again, you have that. That's totally fine. And I'm not saying you have to be greedy or you have to be overzealous or anything like that. You don't have to do any of that. I'm just saying we don't own any property, any major property in this country. None. None at all. What's stopping us? We got billionaires, we got millionaires. What's stopping us? We don't have our own. I've said this before. We don't have our own WalMarts. We don't have our own Targets. We don't have our own banks. We don't have our own Amazon. Like, we don't have our own. And sorry, it's phone ringing. Anyway, sorry. I don't know if you all can hear that or not, but we don't have any factories. We don't have any major businesses. Like we're behind. Like we're just now making apps that are black apps. We're just now doing this and that. Like they've been doing this for centuries. Centuries. The things that we're doing now, they've been doing for centuries. And we're just now catching up to that. Like we're making t-shirts, we're making jewelry, we're making merchant stuff. Like that's merchant stuff. That's not, and I'm not saying you can't become successful, you can't become rich off of that. I'm not saying that at all. But it's I want to say a one-sided business. It's not really. I mean, if you make clothes, you make clothes, but it's not leading up to anything. It's not leading up to something else more than likely. You're just that's all you're planning on doing with this, just making clothes, making shirts, making sweaters, or whatever. You're making clothes. You're not we don't have a plan to build it into something else. And that's a problem. I just want to see a functioning community that's black. That's going to be ran correctly. That's not going to be corrupt, which everything you do is corrupt. People have emotions. People fall in love with the money. People make mistakes. Corruption happens in everyday life. Corruption happens every day. But if I find people who can get behind my message, who can see the light that I'm trying to show, and you have to get there yourself. I can't force you into a certain mindset, a certain lifestyle, because if I force you into it, then you're not going to completely believe it. You're not going to completely understand it. You're going to be able to be swayed off of it. Like someone starts asking you questions, you don't even, you don't know how to answer them, or you feel like those are like really tough questions to answer, and then you're going to start thinking, that doesn't sound like he knows what he's talking about, or he knows what he's doing. And it's not that I have all the answers. I don't. I'm figuring this out just like you all are. But I do have a plan. And I see how it can go. But people have to want to change for themselves. I can't force you to want to change. And I can't force you to change your lifestyle. I can't force you to change how the world views you or us or whatever. You're going to continue doing how you want, how you feel, how you live your life, how you go on about your life. Because that's what you know. That's what's comfortable to you. And that's the system. They don't want you to break free of the system. They don't want you to be an independent thinker. They just want you to pay your bills, pay your taxes, and vote. If they even want you to vote. But we can make a society that's fully black, ran by black people, still be inclusive to white people, Latinos, Asians, Arabs, whatever. Be inclusive to everybody, and still be black. We don't have to be afraid of what they did to the Black Wall Street. We don't have to be afraid of them coming in and trying to destroy it, because once you have an understanding of society, of life, of the journey we're going down, you won't be afraid. You won't fear. You won't question it. You'll understand and you'll do what needs to be done. We're the generation of now. We're the generation to get it done. We're the generation to make things change. And we can't keep relying on the other generations to make a change. They've missed their turn. They've missed their chance to do what they had to do. They didn't know what to do. But you look back in history, it gives you the answers. If you look at movies, you look at books, you look whatever you look at, whatever you spend your time looking at, hearing, seeing, like everything you do, tasting, like everything you do gives you a purpose, gives you a reason, gives you an understanding of certain things. You just have to be smart enough to understand, to get the understanding of what you're seeing. And it may not be what the story is about. It may be something smaller than what you think it is. It may be something bigger than what you think it is. It may not be the main purpose of the movie or the TV show or the song. It might be you having to actually listen. You actually having to pay attention and focus. But I can't force you into the mindset. Change is coming. It is. And the sooner we can all get on the same page, the smoother and faster it can go. But until then, the things that are happening now can continue happening. For one, we need more black cops. And I don't know if I said this before in one of my videos, but there was a comedian. I don't remember who the comedian was, but they were talking about how only black people should be officers, and then white people can be firefighters. And that was funny. Like, I thought it was funny. Obviously, he said it better than that, but I thought that was really funny. And plus, it's true. And that's the thing about comedians. A lot of the stuff that they say is true. Like, that's why it's so funny, because it's true. They're storytellers. They're truth tellers. They tell you how it is. You just have to get past the joke and actually listen to what they're saying. And just because they're telling you something or they're saying something doesn't mean they know how to do it themselves. Just because they're not doing it doesn't mean it can't be done. They just don't know how to. Does anybody know how to? That's the answers I'm trying to get at. Does anyone have the answers I'm looking for? But, oh yeah, I wanted to talk about, and women, especially black women, they have to try 3 to 4 times even harder, because they're the lowest of the barrel. And I love my black women, love them, but they're the lowest of the barrel. Not because they deserve to be there. It's just, I really don't know why black women are perceived the way they are. They're strong, independent, beautiful, smart. Like they're everything. And they get done so dirty, not by just white people, but black men and black women themselves. I mean, that goes for everybody too, but especially black men. Black men do an awful job with black women. Awful job. We just have to care for each other more. We have to love each other more. We can't continue to fight over stupid stuff. Like, it doesn't matter if you're dark skin, light skin, whatever. You're beautiful no matter what you are. You're beautiful. You're black. You're beautiful. I mean, beautiful white people too. Yeah, beautiful Latinos too. But if you're black, you're beautiful. I don't care about none of that. You're beautiful. And I'm calling you men beautiful too. But we got to do better as people. Because most of the things that we need to do to get ahead, it's within ourselves. It's within our communities. It's what we've been brought up on. It's what we've been conditioned our whole life as. We got to defeat those stereotypes. We got to defeat those stigmas. We got to defeat whatever it is. But you have to be open-minded to it. You have to want to change. You've got to want to see change. That's all I got for you all. Don't forget to like this video. Comment what you think I should talk about next. Please, I am begging y'all for some ideas. Please, just drop a little something. Share the video. Subscribe to this channel. Follow me on Twitter, Big Papa Russell. Instagram, Jovid23_. And you all have a great, beautiful day.